If you guys are here or can hear me, give me a thumbs up that you can hear me. We're gonna give it a couple minutes and then we're gonna get started. Hey Lisa, how are you? Those of you who are joining, I'm going to give it just a couple minutes before we get started, but hi everybody. Now I'm doing 8 o'clock, Lisa. I'm old. I need my beauty sleep. I was doing 9 o'clocks, and afterwards I'm just so exhausted that I'm like, I need to go to sleep. So I'm going to do them at 8 o'clock. Yes, I have actually soda. I know, and I have water. I'm ready to go. Okay, let me say hi to everybody. So hi Lisa, Bohemith Monkey, hopefully I said that right. Just Gig It with John, hi. Hi Russ Hyde, hi Pam. We the Tours, and Z, hi everybody. So I haven't done a live in a good couple of weeks, so I just thought I really don't have that much of an agenda. Usually I go into these lives with an agenda. I really don't. I just really wanted to chat with you guys and say, hey, what's up? And hey, Thomas. Hey, PJ. Hi, Matt's my name, 31. So I just wanted to chat it up with you guys. I just haven't done one in a little while, so I figured we would all hang out tonight. Hey, my Christmas tree is up. I know I talk about this all the time, so yay, in my Christmas chair. So I'm like 90% decorated. I'm almost there, but I will take you guys on a tour once everything is completely done and ready to go. So I haven't done a live in a couple of weeks. 2 of those weeks we had like a really bad weather. Like we had a nor'easter one Tuesday that like it was really wacky weather, and we had another weather event, and my daughter gets a little scared during like really bad weather, so I was playing mom during those times. And then the other things, I just had a couple of personal things going on that I'm like, I just have to skip it this week. So that's kind of what's been going on with me. We'll kind of chat about the week I had, the night I had last night, which was like really wackadoo. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So, and then you guys can chime in and ask me any questions that you guys have tonight. I'll be more than happy to answer anything, any topics you want to talk about, and then we'll kind of go from there. So that's kind of my own agenda. So let's first, since I'm decorated, let's talk about the holidays. I can't believe Thanksgiving is like next week, which is like, holy moly. I'm like, where did like November go? Oh, thanks, Thomas. I miss you guys too. I actually miss doing this. At first, like I get so much anxiety doing these just because I get so nervous, and then once I get going, like I'm good. But I feel like I'm getting better at doing lives, and you guys can probably have a totally different opinion of that. But I feel like I'm like, okay, I've got this. So thank you. I really appreciate it. So Thanksgiving is next week. So last year, Thanksgiving week was like a little bit on a slow side. So I'm curious on what this coming Thanksgiving week's going to be. The day before Thanksgiving, it was really slow in the gig economy. Well, at least in my area, it was really slow last year because everybody was cooking for Thanksgiving or they already had food. And then Black Friday was completely dead as well because people had leftovers from Thanksgiving and really didn't order out. So those were like my really dead days last year. So it should be very interesting to kind of see what this this holiday brings. But I personally I'm cooking. I'm cooking Thanksgiving at my house, so yay. I actually really enjoy and I love cooking Thanksgiving, so I'm actually really excited just the smell of turkey cooking in your house, but I'm actually really excited about Thanksgiving this year. So that's kind of, Thanksgiving, so it should be a very interesting week just to see and compare. I will say this, so last year, I turned on DoorDash and UberEats. So granted we were like in the height of like pandemic time, so I don't know whether it's gonna make a difference, but I think DoorDash did like a $5 peak pay on Thanksgiving, but I turned both apps on and I made a joke with my husband. I'm like, if a really good order comes, like I'll do one order and I'll be back. And I turned it on and I forgot that it was even. Both apps were even on. Like an hour later, I'm like, oh my God, the apps are still on. And I went to my phone and I literally got 0 orders the entire hour. So I don't know what this year's gonna bring. So I will say this, if you can afford to, take the holidays off, relax, be with your family, be with your friends. If you can't afford to do that, I completely understand, but take some time out for yourself. I know this holiday season, I want to spend as much time as I possibly can with my family and doing family things. Right up the street from me, I have what's called the PNC Art Center, which is like a concert type of place that they hold concerts in the summer. It's like outdoors, but from like Thanksgiving all the way through until New Year, they do like a light show. So we're going to do, and it's like a drive-through light show. It's really cute. So we're going to do that this year. And then I want to, because I haven't been back to New York City since the beginning of the pandemic, so I'm like itching to get into New York City. So I want to drive into the city and go see the Christmas tree. So that's kind of like my holiday plans, but I plan on like spending as much time as I possibly can doing some Christmas festive things this holiday season. So, okay, so Peter, how many days do you work a week? Usually 6, sometimes 5, depends on kind of what's going on in my life and how crazy it is, but most likely it's about 6 days a week, sometimes 5.5, just depends on what's going on and how much I have to accomplish, but usually about 6. Hey Michelle, how are you? I was excited about PJ, I was excited about delivering the day before Thanksgiving that no one would want to cook for themselves that day. Yeah, that is true. Usually I'm the one cooking. How is the past winter gig? This is going to be May 1st. So I don't know, I'm kind of weird. I'll call myself weird, but I feel like I'm weird. I feel like I'm weird. I actually really like going out in the cold because I feel like there's a lot more orders and people don't want to go out, especially if there's snow. You can make some really big money during like snowstorms. I will say this, anything that goes over like 4 to 6 inches, that's usually when I go home and call it quits because I still value safety over going out, but if you can go out during some of the later snow, you can make some really good money. I don't mind doing winters at all. You guys this week will see a video from me. I have it coming out about some tips about dashing in the dark or gigging in the dark. So I know a couple of you guys have asked me for that. So that'll be coming out this week. So stay tuned for that. But I actually don't mind going out in the winter. God, I can speak. Winter. What are you cooking? I am cooking turkey. I am cooking stuffing, mashed potatoes, corn, cranberry sauce. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's really. I think that's it. My daughter likes mac and cheese, so she'll get mac and cheese along with her turkey. So I'll cook that for her as well. But that's gonna be the extent of our Thanksgiving. I don't go too crazy, but just enough to have some fun on Thanksgiving. Okay, so my DoorDash. So I sent this in my video yesterday, and I wanted to know if you guys are finding the same thing. Like, to me, DoorDash is picking up in my area that, like, I really noticed it. I had a really good DoorDash week last week, and also a good start to this week as well. Like, I feel as though DoorDash is kind of turning a leaf, but not only is it, like, I feel like it's picking up, but, like, I feel like I'm getting either stacked orders or I'm getting, you know, better quality orders. So I'm just curious if it's kind of just my market. Are you guys finding the same thing as well? I just feel as though even I just in general, I feel like my area has been like kind of rocking, and like I really saw a difference last week. And I also noticed I was getting to my goal with less deliveries, which makes me happier. And that's another thing I noticed. Like, I noticed less deliveries, but still, you know, making my goals, which is a pleasant surprise, and it's pleasant to see. So I'm just curious if you guys are noticing that in your area as well. Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. Good name. Whenever you post a video, I'm like, OMG, can't wait till you watch it. You have an amazing market and very mood. Oh, thank you. I will say this. I know I get some negativity on this, but like I am super blessed in the market that I work in. And I know that. But at the same time, like sometimes I get, you know, negative comments, but it's not me. I promise. I just go out and I work, and I'm very fortunate for the area that I work in. But I hate to say, like, I bring you guys along with me every day, because every day is a new venture. There's always something that's going to happen in the gig world. But you guys come along with me, and at the bottom line is also I'm just an everyday mom that goes out and works and takes orders and comes home at the end of the day, and you guys just come along with me for the ride. Oh, Lisa, you're going to your son's house for the holidays. That's awesome. Okay, so anyway, so DoorDash, now that I digressed from that, but DoorDash to me is completely picking up in my area, which I am very, very happy about. So Grubhub, let's talk about Grubhub for a little bit. So I don't know if you guys watched my video from yesterday. If you haven't, go watch it. Grubhub. So yesterday I was so heartbroken. I was so excited. I had a $30 order, and I was so excited, and it was a really expensive restaurant in downtown Red Bank. And I looked at the order. It was a large order, and I always look at the order just because I want to make sure that it's like legit. And it was a pretty substantial order, and I go to the place, or to the restaurant itself, and I go, and I didn't even look at the door, and there was a big huge sign that says temporarily closed due to staffing, and I'm like, ugh. I was just really heartbroken, because Grubhub, I know, doesn't do the same things that DoorDash and UberEats does. So I'm like, well, maybe since it's a large order, they'll do something. Me and my optimistic self. So I get on the phone with Grubhub, and I asked them, I said, will I be compensated at all for this? And they're like, yeah, well, we don't know what it'll be. Just look in your earnings when everything is done. And I'm like, okay. So I get off the phone, and I'm like, it's probably not there yet, but I looked, I got $1. I was so heartbroken. And I had a stacked order on top of it, so I had another $9 order on Clucky Chicken. So it would have been like a $40 order. So my $40 order turned into a $10 order. I was so heartbroken. So guys, so while you guys are watching, take a moment. I'm going to take a drink real quick. So take a moment right now. Give this live a thumbs up while you're there. If you can, share it with a friend so that way they can join us on the live as well. It really helps out my channel. So take a minute, give this video a thumbs up, and I'm going to take a drink. Okay, so Thomas, you didn't work Thanksgiving either. Good for you. I'm telling you, if you guys can take some time off, spend some time with your family. Yeah, and I said that. I said that in my video. Take time. Take time first, even if I know some people don't have, family to go to, but take some time for yourself. Like, everybody sometimes just needs to take a pause. Take that pause, take that day, take that holiday, and even if it's not for your family, take it for yourself. Michelle, not even sure if restaurants are even going to be open in my area. Most of them are closed. There are a lot of restaurants that in my area are closed, but there are some restaurants that are opened as well. There are a couple of like really just regular restaurants that are family restaurants that are open because people are ordering their holiday dinners from these restaurants. So restaurants, some of them stay open. A lot of, and as someone was saying, they're gonna wait for some Boston Market orders for Thanksgiving. Last year, my Boston Market actually turned off DoorDash and UberEats because they couldn't take in the volume of the customers that were coming into the store and do the orders, so they shut down all their delivery apps and they weren't taking delivery apps. So just FYI on that. I don't know whether anybody else found that in their market, but my local Boston Market did that. So just FYI. Hi Rosemary, how are you? Definitely be watching that video. Thanks, PJ. Yeah, I think a lot of closings are due because staffing is it's a big issue. Like, I feel like everywhere I go, and we're not going to go into this isn't a political channel whatsoever, so I'm the wrong person for that discussion. But it's not good. I feel bad for restaurants. I feel for the service industry right now. They're going through some tough times, and places are closed. I know I've talked about this on my videos, but Wendy's, their lobbies are now completely closed. You could only do drive-through, where a couple weeks ago they had signs like everywhere, drivers must go into Wendy's, and like the next week they closed their dining room. So like, well, that went bye-bye. So restaurants are definitely hurting. Chipotle, I went in, got an order last week, and I went to the door and they weren't opening, I don't think, until like 4 p.m. because they didn't have staff for the morning or afternoon. So the service industry is hurting big time, and my heart goes out to them, but it's making our lives a little bit on the difficult side. And I don't know whether also, some of it I think is the restaurant's fault, some of it is DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub's fault. Like, they're not updating the systems to let the customers know that they're closed, or DoorDash or UberEats, and I think there's like a miscommunication, and then we're feeling the brunt of it. So, boy. Hey TJ, how are you? Peter, what time do you start? So normally I start 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, depending on my day. I go until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I stop, I go home, I cook dinner, have some family time, and then I go back out at 5 o'clock and work until about 10 o'clock or until I reach my goal for the day. So that's usually kind of the times I work. I have experimented in the past with working some early mornings. They're okay. To me, it's not worth giving up some family time in the morning for me to go out early in the morning. That's why usually like my area peak times are usually from like 11 to 2 and usually 5 to 10. So I'm all about maximizing the time that I'm out. Like I'm not working like 10 to 12 hours a day when I can work 8 hours and kind of get the same results in my area. What time do you normally edit your videos? My day is jam-packed. When I get home at night. So usually I come home between 10 and 11. And I'm usually starving because usually I eat dinner at like 4 o'clock. So I'll grab a granola bar and get ready for bed and all that fun stuff and spend some time watching TV just to unwind from the day, and then I'll start editing after that point. So usually I don't go to bed until 1 o'clock because I don't go to bed until my videos are edited. And then I wake up usually around 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I do my thumbnails, I upload them to YouTube. And then you guys see my videos usually around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, depending on how quickly I can do the turnaround or how tired I am. So that's kind of usually like my editing process. Yeah, once you get into a routine, I feel like you kind of stick with your routine and you kind of just go day by day because your routine fits and it works. And usually I kind of edit when my family is asleep because I put my AirPods in, and I just kind of go to town while everybody is sleeping, so I kind of have my me time and like no one's distracting me, and I can usually I've gotten to editing like hour, maybe 2 hours, so I can sometimes, the quicker the better, sometimes. Depends on how much editing needs to be done. Thanks, PJ. No need for hate. You're just fortunate, like you said. Nothing wrong with that. Thank you. Just gig it with John. I'm in Southern California market and have been put on DoorDash, Grubhub, Instacart wait list, so I'm only doing UberEats for now. But I must say, UberEats rocks in my area. That's great. UberEats like used to be like my app. Like it used to be like the app I made the most amount of money on. And for the past like maybe 2 months, like I feel like it's become a weekend app in my area. Like I feel like yesterday was a fluke because I actually had a really good Uber Eats day yesterday, but it's literally, I feel like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is like Uber, and like during the weekday, like weekdays I hardly ever get Uber Eats orders, but weekends they're rocking. So I don't know what's going on with Uber Eats in my area. I don't know. Yeah, I wish it was as good as it was. Thomas, how was your day after Thanksgiving? I went out and I worked it last year. I'll be honest, I don't know whether I'm going to work it this year. I haven't quite decided. It was a little it was slow. A lot of people went, even during the pandemic, I guess malls were starting to open. I think, during the pandemic, things were just starting to open. So a lot of people were starting to go out shopping last year, and now everything is open. So, but it was a little on the slow side for me last year. I don't know, it's because everybody was still eating Thanksgiving leftovers, so they didn't have to order anything. For me, the day after Thanksgiving, it was on the slow side. That's why I keep kind of going back and forth if I'm going to be working Black Friday or not. I really haven't decided yet. You're really kind of quiet today. Yes, my daughter is sleeping. I literally, right before I got on, I put her to bed, so that's why I'm a little on the quiet side, so sorry. Sorry. If you guys can't hear me, put like a thumbs down or a thumbs up or say, Kim, I can't hear you. Just let me know so that way I can talk a little louder. And Grubhub did the same thing to me, and I'm telling you, I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so excited, and I was so mad. Like my heart hurt on that one. Hi, Gig Life. How are you? I loved your video about the corn, by the way. I don't know what that customer was thinking. How do they not know what a can of corn is? I'm just saying. If you guys haven't, go check it out. It was actually quite funny. I don't know how to understand how a customer doesn't know what a can of corn is. And I asked Grubhub to give me money for a few canceled orders, and they gave me 0. It was such a waste of time several times. I won't do long mile orders with Grubhub unless I call the restaurant to confirm anymore. It's a good tip. Do you schedule blocks with Grubhub from Peter? I do not schedule. I've done it twice, and I've actually gotten worse in my area, I should say. I've gotten worse orders on block than I have just toggling to available. So I don't do blocks on Grubhub. Like I said, tried it twice, failed, and I'm like, I'm not doing it again. And only that, but for multi-apping purposes, to me, it feels better to be able to toggle available to available than just scheduling yourself, because then you can't toggle to unavailable. So for multi-apping purposes, I don't do blocked scheduling. Okay, so holidays. Okay, so that's okay. So lately, I touched upon this I think 2 videos ago, but I really am a firm believer, and this has really been working for me. This is why I try to share the things that work for me, hoping that it might my methods to my madness might work for you guys. Once again, every area is different, but hey, it might work. But I really try, and I said this a little while ago, I try to keep in constant motion, because let's face it, time is money, and I really try. And the way I multi-app, and I've also gotten a lot of questions about when do I pause, when do I not pause, like how does like my routine of multi-apping actually work. And this is kind of the breakdown of what happens. So the obvious thing is I work 3 apps: Grubhub, UberEats, or DoorDash. Those are the 3 apps that I work. I turn all of them on. They're all going. I get an order. I take either the best order that comes through or the first order that comes through, depending on what's going on. So I have an order. Yeah, sorry. I do need to get a microphone. I'm working on it. So I'll try to get closer. Is this better? Now I can't see my face. I'll slouch down a little bit. So what I end up doing is I keep all the apps on until I'm almost at the restaurant. So for this purpose, I'm going to say I get an order at 5 o'clock and the delivery time is at 5:20. I am a firm believer at looking at delivery times, because it gives me a good idea of how long. They're not always accurate. Before anybody says anything, they're not always accurate, but at least gives me a general idea of how long the whole fit process is going to take. So it's telling me that a pickup time is in 9 minutes, so it gives me 9 minutes to get to the restaurant, but it also gives me 9 minutes for the other 2 apps to give me either a better order that's going to make me want to cancel the original order. Well, that's really what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for like that unicorn order that's going to make me cancel it. I'm not just going to cancel it, and what I mean by that is, like, say I'm working on a $6 order for DoorDash, and a $19 order comes in for Grubhub. I'm going to drop that DoorDash order. I'm going to take the $19 order from Grubhub. But in this case, we're going to stick with the DoorDash order. I pause when I get to the restaurant, because at that point I am locked and loaded and I'm committed to this order. Once I pick up the order from the restaurant depending on how far away the delivery is. If it's only like 3 miles, I might turn all the apps back on at that point. I try to really not take an order until like a mile to like 3 minutes before my next drop off. That's usually my own personal time frame. But I do try to get my order before the next drop off so I know what my next order is. And that's what I really mean by being in constant motion and constantly taking orders so there's no idle time. It literally drives me like crazy to like sit in my car and not have an order. Like I really just like to be in constant motion. And by doing that, it really helps me turn orders quicker and really get more orders done in an hour, and then in turn gets you more money. So that's kind of my process. And when I pause and when I go and when I take orders, but that's what I meant by like constant motion and really, really trying to get that order in before I get to my next drop off, so that way I'm on my way to the restaurant after that drop off. And especially on the weekends when like the orders are rocking and coming in, that's when like you can really maximize that and really go after that multi-apping process. So I just thought I would share that with you guys as well. Yeah, the whole no pay thing from Grubhub just really irks the what out of me. Grubhub is picking up in my area too. I've been getting like bigger orders as well. So I don't know whether like orders are just, people might be either ordering more or tipping better because the holidays are coming up. I don't know, but I'm not complaining because more money in our pocket. I'm just saying. Dark block standing, looking mighty gorgeous today. Well, thank you. Yes, I will. I promise I will get a microphone. Michelle, I won't ever go on block with Grubhub again. I do way better off block as well. PJ, the only app I've experienced that's worth blocking is Grubhub, at least in my area. I will say I got this question, I put it in my video yesterday as well, is I do schedule DoorDash. I will say I probably don't need to schedule DoorDash. Me personally, I'm a planner and I like to have everything planned out, and my schedule rarely ever changes. I have the same schedule every single day without fail. So I just automatically put in a schedule because sometimes I will say like in the mornings, like the early mornings, like 10 o'clock-ish, sometimes my map might be gray, but other than that, it's pink throughout the entire day, or busy or very busy. I'm just very fortunate for my area, so I probably don't need to schedule. It's just me. I feel better when I schedule. I do have to schedule though if I know in advance DoorDash is putting in anything more than a $2 plus peak pay. I feel like every driver in my area comes out for peak pays and orders become harder to get. And I'm not a big fan of peak pays in my area because of that reason. Well, Thomas, DoorDash is getting better in your area as well. Good. That's good to see. Oh, thank you, Taurus. That was really nice of you. I really appreciate it. Tax write-offs. Yeah, tax season's coming up. Thomas, thanks for sharing the family money orders this week. Oh, thank you guys. I had so much fun this week. I decided, if you guys haven't, go back to past videos and watch it. I decided to take my family for an hour here or there last week, and it was a nice change of pace having them with me. It broke up the monotony of just driving by myself. It was nice to talk to people. And I was so glad that you guys were able to, well, didn't see them, you heard them with me. And just to clarify, I know I talked about this a little bit. and it's completely me. Like I'm just super worried about their privacy, so it was my decision to keep them private, but I thought at least you can hear their voices. So I really enjoyed having them with me last week. Hopefully they come along with me maybe a couple times this week, but it's always nice having loved ones with you to kind of share share the process with you, especially like my husband who does gig work too. So it's kind of nice to see a different point of view, even though we probably will not agree on the same orders that we would take another. But I always say it's always good to have another person to like sound things off on, because sometimes you doubt your own self. I know me, like sometimes I doubt my own self, like should I take that order, should I not take that order? And sometimes you make good decisions, sometimes you make bad decisions, and sometimes you're like, oh, I really totally shouldn't have taken that order. Why? What was I thinking? But at least with somebody else with me, you might be able to blame them. No, just kidding. I would never blame my husband for that. Yeah, I agree, gig life. Anytime you can talk to people. Sometimes driving, you get lonely. I try to keep myself busy, which is why I do YouTube. You guys are, even though I'm talking to a camera all the time, I feel like you guys are with me every single day that I do a video. At least I feel like I can put faces to the camera talking to. So at least it keeps me busy. But it was a lot of fun last week. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully they did too. My daughter was fine. She just loves watching her iPad. So as long as she has her iPad, she's good. uh, Matt's my name. Have you ever had any violations? No, I've never had any violations. I've had to fill out those forms though. I've had it twice where someone said that they didn't get their order. Well, I videotape almost every single one of my drop-offs, so either I had the picture or I had the video, so I sent it in and I never even got a contract violation for it at all. So I guess that's the upside also about doing YouTube videos is I video almost every one of my drop-offs in one way or another, so that way they really can't say that they didn't get their order, because I have videos are worth 1,000 words. Well, in this case, there's a picture is worth 1,000 words, but in this case, it's video is worth 1,000 words. Just kicking John. Idle time on a single app could be frustrating. I'm sure multi-apping would be like going fishing. In some ways, it is like going fishing. I feel like sometimes when it's during busy, it's a juggling game and really figuring out what's the best order to take. Like I said, I feel like sometimes you make really good decisions and sometimes you make really bad decisions, and sometimes those bad decisions are, that freaking order just took way too long. You probably hear me say that a lot because I'm like, that order just took way too freaking long. And that's usually when I think I make a bad decision, just because time is money. But you know what? It's all good because you made a decision. That's the first step. You made a decision. But John, when I first started, I only did DoorDash. That was the only app I did. And then I got onto UberEats, and then Grubhub took me a year and a half to get on. And I don't know whether this is a coincidence or not a coincidence, but in order for me to finally get onto Grubhub, I'm sure they were sick of me. There's a form you can fill out to figure out where your status is on Grubhub. I submitted that form like 5 to 6 times a week, and then they posted on Facebook as an advertising, Grubhub is hiring, and I put a comment on Facebook. I've been on a wait list for a year and a half. I'm not understanding why you're advertising you're hiring, and they messaged me right away. They took all my information, and a week later I was on Grubhub. So I don't know whether it's just a coincidence. I just literally bugged the what out of them, and a week or so later I was on Grubhub. So don't know whether it's a coincidence, but that's what I did. PJ, enjoy getting the hub side of gig life. Pretty cool. I'm glad you guys enjoy. I'll take them a couple of times with me. You'll guys see them periodically here or there. That's another thing, you know, with the holidays coming up. They specifically went out with me on Veterans Day. They're just they're there to keep me company, but also safe as well. You know, going out on holidays, it's always safer to have more people in the car with you. So it's more of a protection thing too. And then I want to talk to you guys also about so Grubhub. So I had that order this past week where, and this is what I totally mean by kindness is always free as well. So I have that order on Grubhub that I took an order. It was supposed to be like a pay order. So it was a pizza place, and it's a really popular, very busy pizza place around me. So I took it. I'm like, okay, no problem. I just have to go and pay. I get there, and they're like, you're the fifth driver to come for this order, and we keep telling everybody that this place isn't just a pay. You have to order and pay, and every driver has canceled the order. And at that point, like, my heart went out to the customer. I guess this is like the customer service piece of me. Like, I felt so bad. This poor customer has no clue what's going on, and this, like, they just keep seeing driver after driver after driver, and this customer doesn't even know what's going on. So I said, well, how long is the order going to take? And they're like, 15-20 minutes. It's pizzas. I'm like, okay, let's place the order. I placed the order for it. I went back in my car, listened to my AirPods, got caught up on YouTube, did a video about it, and my thought process was, I would want someone to do that for my order. That's another thing. But I communicated with the customer. I called them, and I flat out told them exactly what was happening. I didn't sugarcoat it. I told them what was happening, and I was honest with them. And they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. And they were so appreciative that I placed the order for them. And I let them know when I got the order and when I was leaving. And I don't typically over communicate with customers unless it's like necessary. Like, I'm a firm believer, if there's a problem, you communicate with the customer. Like, I'm not that type of person that says, I'm at the restaurant, I'm leaving the restaurant, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like, I feel like customers get annoyed at that point. But I really think that if there's a problem, that's like the point where you should be communicating with your customer. So I completely did that. Waited, and that's another thing. I feel like some restaurants on a Saturday or Sunday, and it was a Sunday, I think it was, you would wait in a restaurant for 15-20 minutes for order anyway. So, and it was only like a mile and a half, I think it was really short miles, and I would have spent that time if it was a longer mile order anyway. And I think it was like $14. And anyway, get the order, go to the customer's house, and they were waiting for me on the porch, and they're like, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And they gave me a $10 cash tip for my troubles. So I really am a firm believer that kindness is always free, and it goes such a long way. And in that case, like, I felt good that, like, I really did the right thing and really helped out the customer, opposed to just tossing it from one driver to the next. So that happened this week as well. Home-based income. You created a great brand for yourself. Oh, thank you. Love your shirt. Your occasional lives and focus on 3 major gigs. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is my new shirt to promote myself. I think I was joking with Lisa the other day, because I also have business cards as well that I made, because I wanted to have business cards so when I go to restaurants, I can start telling them about my channel, so that way restaurants start following me as well. And some of them have started following me because they never really realize what drivers go through. They understand it from the restaurant's perspective, not so much the driver's perspective. And a couple of them actually now watch me. But That's why I got this made. And I think Lisa was joking with me that she's like, let me get this straight. So you're hustling while you're hustling? And I said, yeah, I totally am. But thank you. I really appreciate it. Thomas, I saw your video the other day. I can't see your husband's face, but he looks tall. He is tall. He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot to my 5'2". I always say we're completely the complete opposites, the yin and the yang. So yeah, he's 6 foot, tall and handsome. Yeah, home-based income. I have to actually. I really enjoy your videos on dumpling. So if you guys haven't done it, go check her out. It's very interesting. I'm interested in how the business is going for you and how you're starting your own business, because I feel like it's really working for you and you're successful at it. And I feel like dumpling's one of those things that if you put the time and effort into it, it could really pay off for you. So congratulations to you and your dumpling journey. It's been very interesting to hear you talk about it. How's your car holding up? Car is good. I switched, just to give you guys an update. I think I said it in a video or so ago. I have a couple of cars, but I switched to my Hyundai Accent. I just got it probably about a year ago. Just because it's better on gas, and with gas prices, I feel like they're skyrocketing all over the place. And those of you guys who are out in California, I feel for you, because I complain about gas prices, and I feel like I have no right to complain about gas prices since California is absolutely ridiculous. But it is better on miles. I'm saving money gas-wise, so it's the biggest reason why I swapped out cars for right now. My husband convinced me to do that, so I'm now driving my Accent opposed to the Sonata. Nothing wrong with the Sonata. I love the Sonata. It's just, it was time for the Accent, and not only that, it has lower miles on it, so just keep swapping them with what works for the gig economy. But it really is a good car to be gigging in. Matt, did you know the pizza place I was talking about? Because I know you're from my area. Thomas, Kim, kindness is always free. You say it's so authentic, and people can tell you are so nice and easygoing. Oh, thank you. I really try to live by it. I live my life by it. I feel like it's the way I was raised. Like, treat people with kindness. Like, even a random act of kindness. I even when I was driving and commuting to work, there were days that I would, and this is before Easy Pass, but sometimes even when I had Easy Pass, I did this. I would go to the car toll lane and I would pay for someone's toll just to make their day. There have been times I've been at McDonald's and I paid for the car behind me just to be nice. I believe in karma and paying it forward. That's kind of the way I am. And it also comes with the customer service. I mean, I'm coming from the customer service industry, and kill people with kindness. I just feel like it's good. It's good karma. Home-based income. You're very good at what you do. Super smart. You're a businesswoman. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rapping Granny, how are you? It was great on UberEats to get a 3-mile order for $22. Holy moly, that's awesome yesterday. And it wasn't tip bait. That is amazing. Hey, skip those orders up while you can. Like, I feel like those orders are like unicorn orders, and scoop them up, man. Do you, and congratulations. Those always put such a smile on your face, because I feel like whenever I get like anything really like a good order, I feel like it takes like a chunk out of my day to get towards my goal. And like, I feel like I'm like, oh, I got, like, whenever I get like a pretty decent order, I'm like, oh, I got this. I got this. Like, it keeps getting me closer to my goal, and it's just a really good feeling. So congratulations. Sorry, my computer just went black. Sorry, bear with me, guys. How long did you work? Sorry, my computer is acting wacky. How long did you work in retail? For 23 years. I was a retail manager for 23 years. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I started out as a manager when I was 19. Ooh, that's all. It's been a while. It's been a progression. It's been a progression through the years. But yeah, I've been a retail manager for 23 years. It was time. I feel like I did my time. Oh, hi Ellen, how are you? I loved your latest, like the newest video you just put out, and so everybody go check out Ellen's newest video. She did a really good job. You just put one out yesterday, I believe, or was it this morning? Right, Shirley. So when I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, people did that a lot for paying the car behind them. Oh, that's amazing. It feels good to do it, but it also feels good being that person on the other end, and you never know whose day you're gonna make better by just doing a random act of kindness. That's why I'm always big on that. Okay, and just gig with John. Really want to thank you for the content you put out there. It's inspiring, motivating. Oh, thank you. I'll be honest, it's not always easy putting out content every day that is entertaining and informative, and I really just try to show you, I literally just try to show you every day what goes on, whether it's an order, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether I get frustrated, not frustrated. Like I literally, some days are boring, and you guys sometimes see the boring days as well, and sometimes I apologize for that, but that's just kind of what's happened, and that's what we do. And I really want you guys to get like a really good account for what goes on in a daily life of a gig worker. And that's what I do. That's my content that I put out. But in the same time, I really try to motivate you guys. And when I started my channel, I was literally, I didn't know much about YouTube. I thought it was more of like a social media thing, and I was only doing like an hour or maybe 2 hours, and that's where if I can do it, you can do it came in. It was never about the dollar amount. It was more about, I'm going out there, I'm hustling, you guys can come along with me, and that's where that really came from. And as long as you get those negative comments every once in a while, more than once in a while, but you get those negative comments, but you get also the awesome ones that you guys are doing tonight, and it makes it totally worth it. And that's why I really love what I do, and I love what I do with you guys. So thank you for your motivation as well. So just like you guys say I motivate you, you guys motivate me on a daily basis. Thank you, Thomas. She's such a great motivational person. Thank you, Thomas. Just kidding, John. I left the telecom world after many, many years. Decided to try out the gig life. It's a grind, but good kind of grind. It makes you humble for sure. I'll always say it's not always easy. I think it's fun. I'm not every day is the same, which I found the same thing in retail. It's one of the reasons why I love retail so much, is not every single day is the same, and I find the same thing in the gig world. It's not always easy. It's a grind. It's a hustle, especially if you have goals set in place. I'm such a goal-oriented person, but that's just me. Like, I really have to give myself goals, and I was like that in the retail world too. Like, I needed to make sales goal. I need to make credit goals. Like I'm a goal. Like I guess that's maybe why I was embedded in me. Like you have to make goals. You have to make goals, and that's why goals to me are super important because then you have something to achieve and something to look forward to. And yeah, I forgot where I was going with that because my mind just went completely. My mind just went completely blank on that one. Oh, going back to the grind. So yes, it is a grind, but I will say for me, and what I was going through this past year with my husband, like I feel like it was the best decision that I've made. Like I have no stress. I have time with my family that is so special and so valuable. Like what job can you take your family with you on a couple of deliveries and spend time with them at the same time? Like talk about multitasking. That's multitasking for you right there. But it was literally probably one of the best decisions I've made this year. Do I think it is a forever thing? Probably not. I don't know what the future holds, but for now, it's in the right place at the right time in my life and what I'm doing. Thanks, PJ. Hey, Candace, how are you? Matt, I've been like a Walmart order, but you have to make sure it's all the same town because they can bring you all over. I can honestly say I've never done a Walmart order. I hate to say that, but I've never done a Walmart order. Walmart for me,
Blue Ridge Home Base.
Walmart for me is like 8, I'm trying to think, probably be 8 to 9 miles away, and it's out of my delivery zone for DoorDash. But it's weird because it's in the same, I don't know, my town is weird. There's a north side and a south side, and it's on the north side. So even though it's in the same town, it's out of my zone. So I've never done a Walmart order. It's weird though because I do Walmart pickups for myself personally every week, but I've never done a Walmart order before. So sorry. I feel bad saying that because I know everybody complains about Walmart orders. I'm like I've never done a Walmart order. Do you work 7 days a week? No, I take usually Tuesday. Today was my day off, which I guess technically I'm working if I'm doing a live. So I guess if you want to call that working, I don't know. I feel like I'm just hanging out with you guys, so I really don't feel like it's work. But usually 6 days a week. Depends on kind of what's going on. I will say though, like I'm a person that like can't my husband will attest to this. Like I'm a person that can't stay still. Like I probably drive him nuts during like movies or TVs because like I have to be doing something. So, and I'm not really a TV person. So even on my day off, I might be like, I'll be back in an hour, and like I'll challenge myself and how much I can do in 1 hour because I'm such a firm believer that some money is better than no money, and that's just kind of, it's me. Hey, Beach Dude, how are you? I think the key is to try and stay positive when driving and dealing with others. It's easy to get frustrated. I'll use that as frustrated, which is a waste of time and fixated on it. It is stay positive, people. It's the way to go. Madeline, is there anyone who works in the Philly area? The only person that I know of from Philly is Gig IQ, so you might want to go check him out, but I know he's from the Philly area. Hey, Madeline, how are you? Yeah, I heard Walmart. Yes, I heard Walmart is terrible for delivery. I heard that DoorDash is really bad with Walmart, but UberEats is okay with Walmart. Like I said, I feel bad not knowing that, but I really have never done a Walmart order. Oh, Thomas. Sorry, my screen just went wackadoo. Thanks for cheering and motivating me. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. So super kind of you. So I'm trying to do all this. I'm not used to doing it. So right before I did a live talk about like drama. So if anybody knows how to fix this, let me know. So right before, like literally 10 minutes before I went live tonight, my phone froze. And that's usually how I do all of the chats. And my phone is still frozen. It's frozen on the screen where you're supposed to shut it off, and nothing's happening. So as soon as we're done with the live, I need to figure out how to unfreeze my phone that's frozen on the screen that you need to turn it off with. Gotta love iPhones. And at least I've only done 2 DoorDash Walmart orders. I'm not a fan. I don't even know whether I would know what to do. You're welcome, Michelle. Moderators do help. So just to also let you guys know, like, I try to be so super involved in my channel to the point where I answer every single one of the comments. So when you guys get a comment, it is coming from me and me alone. Like, I literally, when I'm done editing my video at night, I spend that extra 10 minutes and I read through every comment and respond to every single one of my comments. So when you guys see a comment, it is completely from me, even though YouTube lately, and Gig Life brought this up actually today in his community post, they've been hiding comments to the point where you can see them, but you can't respond to them, and then like they get deleted. So if you don't see a response from me, because I do respond to every one of the comments, it's because YouTube did something that I can't see your comment, and that's been happening quite a few times lately. So if you don't get a response, that's usually the reason why, because I really respond to every single one of my comments, unless it's not a nice comment or I don't deem it respectful, then I won't comment to you. But majority of the time, like, I respond to every single one of my comments. So just thought I would point that out there. Beach dude, hey Kim, I am, well, still just driving weekends, evenings, though not if it's wet. Almost all of the homes here have steps, so I avoid wet evening steps in the dark. I mostly focus on the market. Yeah, I have a video coming out this week. You guys will see tips for driving, well, for delivering in the dark. I know weather is an issue coming up, especially with snow, so I will say be careful, because there are times where people don't shovel, they don't salt. I feel like I fall like once a year on ice for some reason. Maybe it's just because I'm klutzy, I don't know, but I am klutzy. But be careful of ice. That's a really big, because you don't see ice, and it's very, it's difficult to see. So just be careful as you're driving. And I will say this, I know it's going to be my video, but I have like a small keychain flashlight. Keep a flashlight on you, or use your flashlight on your phone. Even if there's lights on the house, I still use it, because some sidewalks are uneven and you don't see it, and you can trip, you can fall, and just be careful. That's the only thing I'm saying. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, I really try to respond to every single one of the comments. If I see that you are normally commenting and I know they disappear, I try to go to a past one and let you know that I'm not seeing your comments. It's just, I don't know what's going on with YouTube and comments disappearing. And that's it. Okay, so guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We're at the hour mark. If you have anything, quickly get it in, but thank you so much for joining me tonight. I had so much fun as always. And guys, I hope you guys have a very successful week. I hope you guys make lots of money, and we'll do this again. So guys, if you're driving, stay safe and healthy. Remember, kindness is always free. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.